So let's kick it off with author Janaki Sabesh, who's going to talk about her story, A Thousand Full Moons.
So this is the author Janaki Sabesh. She writes and performs and lives through stories. She has narrated her story, Pati's Rasam, which was shortlisted for the Neve Book Award and has done various successful interactive sessions in previous editions of the NLF. Miss Janaki has channeled her love for storytelling through the Golpo Tales initiative. Golpo means story in Bengali. She brings people together through her intimate and interactive storytelling around food, music, and other common experiences. So, guys, please give a warm welcome for the author Janaki Sabesh.
All right then, handing it off.
Thank you. All right. So today I am going to be sharing the story of a wonderful author called Shobha Viswanath, who's written this beautiful book called A Thousand Full Moons. Can we have it for her? And why is it special? Because we also have the illustrator here who will be coming on stage just after I narrate the story. And it's also one of the short list for the NBA Awards, Neve Literature Book Awards. So we wish A Thousand Full Moons all the best. Okay, can you? NBA. Okay, NBA. Can you all sit down? Sit down, sit down, sit down. So now, after all that energy, I need you to calm down. Okay, sit down, sit down, sit down. Sit down. You want to come right here? Okay, all right. Give me a minute. That's all, that's all. Otherwise, I'll need space, na? Aram se baith jao. Sit down, sit down. Sa sing the sunflowers. Rearing out the red roses. Ga giggle the gulmohars. Ma the marigolds. Pa pop the pretty poppies. Dha dance the dahlias. Not the neem flowers. Sarigama padanisa. Sarigama padanisa. Okay, now that you've calmed down, I need to take all of you to this wonderful story called A Thousand Full Moons. So this is happening in Chennai, okay, in a little house where there is lot of activity. Little Nila is very, very happy because her mother, great-grandmother called Muttasi. What was her name? Muttasi was going to see 1,000 full moons. Now what is that? Why is Muttasi going to see 1,000 full moons? What is so special? So it is said that when you are 81 years old, do the math after that, okay? Do all your mathematics. How many full moons will Muttasi have seen at the age of 81? 1,000. How many? And in that 1,000 full moons, they are going to celebrate Muttashi's 81st birthday. What are they going to celebrate? So Nila was so excited. She said, Amma, I want to go and give Muttashi a big hug. And she goes and gives Muttashi a big hug and she says, in 3 days' time, you are going to see 1,000th full moon. And she asks Muttashi, are you excited? Are you excited? I'm very excited. And Muttashi hugs her and she said, God knows what will happen tomorrow, Nila. I am just happy seeing your face because you are such a sweetheart of mine. She said, yeah, but all that is okay. But I would love to see your face when you see your 1000th full moon. I'm so happy. And she goes running all around the house. She goes to Appa, and Appa is busy speaking to the decorators. I want some flowers to be here, and then some other, yeah. I want some flowers here, some flowers there, and maybe some streamers here, and maybe we should get some balloons. He was speaking to the decorator. And Amma was speaking to the caterer. No, Muttashi loves pal payasam. Oh, Muttashi loves vadai, but she doesn't have too many teeth. So make that vada a little soft. Yeah. And yeah, she loves. Oh, yeah, I've already given you the list. Make sure you make all of this. And what was Party doing? Party was speaking to the priest because this was a very big event. It is called Sarva Purna Chandrodayam. Chandrodayam. That is a big festival. It was almost like a birthday, huge birthday celebration. And she was so happy, she couldn't wait for Muttashi to see the 1000th full moon. But the next day, something happened. Muttasi slipped and she fell down. Dadam! And immediately she was rushed to the hospital. And the doctors had one look at it and had the x-ray and all. They said, we have some bad news. Muttashi has fractured her hip. Muttashi has fractured her hip. Sorry, she will have to be on bed for the next few days, maybe weeks. And they said, what do we do? They had to cancel all the celebrations. They said, oh dear, what do we do? So they had to call, Appa had to call everybody and say, I'm so sorry, but Muttashi is fallen down. We will have this celebration maybe later. So everybody waited, but Nila was so upset. She said, Muttashi, tomorrow, it's her birthday. She has to see her 1000th full moon. Amma, what can we do? How do I make Muttashi see the 1000th full moon? And then she realized that in Muttashi's hospital, there was a little window. And she had a small stool. She climbed that little window and she looked up and she looked there. There, little bit of the sky was seen. She says, how? The window was not even near Muttashi's bed. What do we do? She was very upset. The whole day she was sulking. She said, Muttashi, she has to see her 1000th full moon. How do we do it? How do we do it? And that day evening, when they were about to leave for the hospital, they saw in the garden a big urli. You know what an urli means? It's a big brass vessel. It was nicely washed and it was filled with water. And there were lotus, roses, carnations, all kinds of flowers, all waiting to be decorated inside the urli, meaning inside the brass vessel. And suddenly, what does Nila see? She sees the moon. How did she see the moon there? Reflection. But Nila was a sweet little young girl, no? She suddenly screamed, Amma, Party, come. I know how Muttashi can see the full moon. Amma, come. It's right in the urli. Can we take this urli to the hospital? And then Muttashi can see the moon. And suddenly Amma said, Nila, and Party said, shush, don't tell her anything. She said, Amma, please, let's take this moon. So Amma said, okay. You know what Party did? She has this urli had a lid. She said, can we close the lid and take the urli with the water to Muttashi, who is in the hospital? So they said, yeah, why don't we? So Appa sat in the car, opened the door, Party sat, Amma sat, Nila sat, and who sat along with them? Urli. And what was inside the urli according to Nila? Full moon. And then she took it and she placed it in front of Muttashi. And she said, Muttashi, I kept my promise. You can see the 1000th full moon. And she opened the lid. Do you think the moon was inside? She said, Amma, where did the moon go? Where did the moon go? Where was the moon? In the sky. Was it inside the urli? And Nila said, but Nila didn't know that. Nila said, Muttashi, I brought the moon for you. It is supposed to be in the urli. And suddenly she cried, and Muttashi took her hands and cupped Nila's face and said, Kanna, you are the moon of my life. You are my 1000th full moon. I don't need any other moons. And she cupped her face and she hugged. But Nila was crying and crying. She said, but I so badly wanted this moon, this 1000th full moon that you need to see. And as she was crying, as she was hugging her Muttasi, from the corner of their eye, she saw that that urli was, there was a sliver of light falling onto the urli which was just below the window. And what was inside the urli? Moon! And she said, Muttasi, see, what is there inside? A 1000th full moon. She said, Muttashi, see, the moon is there for you to see, and everybody rejoiced. So can we sing happy birthday to Muttashi now? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Muttasi. Happy birthday to you. Again, happy long life to you. Happy long life to you. Happy birthday, dear Muttasi. Can we all bring this little heart for Muttasi? How sweet. Can we do this for both Nila and Muttasi? Happy birthday to you. Oh, this is too easy, I know. But this is what I can do very easily. So did you like the story? Isn't this beautiful? So let me show you the book now. So this is the book, 1000 Full Moons, which is so beautifully written by Shobha Viswanath and very, very beautifully illustrated. We have the illustrator, surprise, surprise, Kirtana Ramesh with us, who I will ask her to come on stage and explain more. But before that, I'd like to show you the book, the pages. So then you will appreciate. I will then show a video of how this is done. This is a very, very beautiful. So this is the 1000th full moon. You have read this? How nice. This is Muttasi and Nila. And then they're all putting, do you put kolam? Do you put rangoli in your house? Yeah. So any big event, we also put rangoli. So beautiful rangoli. And Kirtana will tell you how she made this rangoli out of paper. Wow, I've given away some secret, but wait. And then, of course, the ambulance comes because Muttashi has a fall. And then Muttashi is in the hospital. And see, Nila is trying to see if she can get the moon. No, she can't, but wait. She sees the moon inside the urli. Can you see that? But where's the moon? Wait, wait. There it is. Can you see the moon? So beautiful inside the urli. And then Nila says, okay. And she takes it to Muttashi. You think she captured the moon? So was there a moon inside the urli when she showed it to Muttasi? No. And then she says, I'm so sad, and she cried. But then what happens? Who keeps it under the window? Her amma, right? Slowly pushes the urli, and that's how she sees the 1000th full moon in the hospital, and much to Nila's delight and joy. Yeah? Can we give it to Nila and her idea of bringing the moon to Muttasi and this beautiful story? And there is, I don't know, a lot of you will have older people in your home. So it's called Sahasra Purna Chandrodayam. That is the 81st birthday. I think some people call Sadabhishegam also in Tamil. And yeah, now I would request the team to play a small video because this illustration is very different. It's very, very beautiful, and I want all of you to pay attention to see the video. The video has audio also, ma'am. Yeah, can you?
For this book, Shobha and I decided to use a paper cut style for the illustration to tell the story of Meena, Muttasi, and Muttasi's thousandth moon. In this book, every character, pattern, column, urli, moon, and star has been hand painted and meticulously hand cut and assembled over a period of 6 months. The process itself is quite simple. You take a knife, a sheet of paper, and a very sharp blade, and you start cutting away the paper until patterns and motifs start emerging onto the final artwork. Paper cut as an art form has existed for over 2000 years, with a rich history in China, Mexico, Eastern Europe, India, Germany, Poland, and many other regions and cultures across the world. Artists create delicate and lacy hand-cut pieces of art by carving patterns into paper using nothing more than a knife, some sheets of paper, and hours and hours and hours and hours of patience. The big challenge lies in the sketching and planning phase. I have to decide, even before making the first cut, what would be the positive space and what parts would make the negative space. And since the final artwork is cut away from one sheet of paper, making one wrong cut means that the whole piece is ruined and I have to start all over again. But once I get into the flow of cutting, it does become quite a relaxing activity, and seeing the final piece emerge from all the paper scraps left behind is very satisfying. I wanted this book to be vibrant and colorful, and since the illustrations were cut using
Guys,
white
don't
paper,
go on the stage.
I decided
Come
to
down.
bring in the
Come
color
down.
using the
You
background.
can sit below the stage.
I painted many sheets of tracing paper with photo
Yeah.
inks. Being translucent, tracing paper catches light differently than watercolor paper, giving the ink washes a dreamlike quality that I wanted the illustrations to have. The backgrounds in the hospital scene have a tiled pattern. I created these using a custom stamp that I made by gluing some piece of foam onto bits of cardboard. To really emphasize the paper cut style, I decided to layer all the pieces to create more depth. So what I ended up doing is gluing some of the painted tracing paper onto thicker pieces of paper, which I could use later for layering to bring in the height. Once all the paper cuts were cut and all the tracing papers were painted, it was finally time for assembly. I laid all the pieces one on top of each other to make the final piece. And finally, it was time for the photo shoot day. I wanted to emphasize the layers and depth and the handmade quality of the paper cut art, so getting the light and shadow just right in the photographs was very important. I pushed small bits of paper and cardboard under the paper cuts to raise them and create shadows in the right places. And my tweezers also helped me a lot in getting the position of the pieces just right. Paper cut is not a usual medium for children's book illustrations, but I wanted to push myself in the medium to create something different and unexpected. And I'm very happy with the way the book turned out. I hope you love Nina's and Muttasi's story as much as I do and are bewitched by the magic of paper cut to try it yourself one day.
Wow. Okay, now we'll all, can you sit down, children? Can you go back and sit down? Because I need to invite somebody. Would you like to see the illustrator? Would you like to ask her some questions? This was such a, first of all, did you like the way the illustrations were done? Yes? Yes or no? So we will now invite the young and happening and talented illustrator, Kirtana Ramesh. Come on, give it to her. Can I have a mic? Can you give me your mic, Kana? Yeah. Switch it on. Yeah. Okay, sit down. Sit down. All right, come. So I'm going to
Hi
be.
everyone.
So say hi to Kirtana.
Hi. Okay, it needs to be a little bit louder. That was like not loud enough.
Yeah.
Louder, louder.
Okay.
Thank you. I feel your love.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, Kirtana, I'm going to ask you a few questions so that everybody, what is this illustration, the kind of illustration called?
Oh, does anyone want to guess?
What is it?
What is it called?
Paper cut.
Wait,
Paper
wait.
cut.
I have a question. Is a paper cut what you get on your finger or the illustration here? Both. Yeah, it is both. But I like to think of it as only the illustration and not what happens when I work with my paper and it gives me a cut. So it happens both ways.
All right. So, how did you come? Did you realize that it has taken her a lot of time? How long did it take you to complete this book?
It took me just over 6 months just to make the illustrations. And then I think it took us another few, like 4, 5, 6 months to take the photographs, print the books, do multiple rounds of editing to make sure that we have the text written, placed correctly on the page. So yeah, it took a while. Just the illustrations themselves took about 6 months.
So when you tell me something, when you were doing the, say, let me go back to the column, you know the column, the rangoli that
Yeah.
was done. Do you remember how long I mean, do you do that in the paper first and then you replicate, you cut it? I mean, I haven't understood.
I love that question. So
Yeah.
what I do is first a lot of research, a lot of internet research into what kind of column we should be creating for the
Special day.
Yeah, for the special day, and just for the illustrations in the book generally. So we looked at different kinds of column and different kinds of rangoli. And Shobha and I decided that we should go with padi column just because it also it is one of those columns that I felt like I could cut very easily, not easily but well with paper and represent it well with paper. I drew it, illustrated it first on Illustrator on my computer, took a printout of it. So I made it on the computer because I could make it like perfect and perfectly geometric, which is hard to do in hand. Took a printout of it, stuck the printout on the actual sheet of paper I was going to cut it out from, and then used my knife to sit for, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 hours depending
Wow.
on the kind of the column to cut it into a paper. Yeah.
So 10 hours just to create a column, 6 to 8 months to create the entire book. So do you realize, all you budding illustrators here, authors here, it is a long process. And yes, you have a question. What is the question?
The paper cut, why are there so many holes in the areas like that?
Okay. She wanted to know why there are so many holes in the
I
area.
love that question. So without the holes, there's going to be no illustration. So with paper cut, you have to put holes on the paper to be able to see the drawing or the art or the illustration. So there are holes on the moon
Yes.
because that's what helps you see the
The
image
holes
of the
on
moon, yeah.
Mutashi's.
The holes on Mutashi's
So
head, yeah.
here, so these are all holes, right?
They're
Kirtana?
all holes.
These are all holes, and unless and until you have those holes, and this is Nila, and of course they are inside the moon, right? Maybe they are inside. Is that?
They are. So the moon is one layer,
One.
and then Muttasi and Nila are on a different sheet of paper placed on top. So if we didn't have the hole, so you can see that Muttasi's hair, moon is overlapping. You can see the background and the moon. That's because there's a hole there. And without the hole, it'll just be a blank sheet of paper.
So do you realize you have a question, Kanna? Okay, can I have somebody pass on a mic to her?
What inspired you to do this type of illustrations?
So beautiful.
So I will first answer why I like doing paper cut in general. I just like things with holes. I think it's an obsession. Even my clothes have.
See this?
It is an absolute obsession. I love things which are sort of netted, lacy. So when I first discovered that people also put holes in paper and make it look pretty, I was like, I need to learn how to do that. And I've been doing it for almost 7 years now. So when it comes to this book particularly and why I chose to do paper cut art, the reason is why not? Like, why not use paper cut for illustrating? And it's not a medium that's traditionally used for children's book illustration or picture books. So when Shobha shared the story with me and I said, this is such a wonderful story and I would like to illustrate it, we had a conversation. I was like, let me try this out and we'll see how it works. And I think this is the first time that I'm doing it, and I haven't really seen other picture books in using paper cut. So this was a process, and also sort of teaching myself and trying to see whether I can push the boundaries and turn what I normally make as sort of individual pieces into a long narrative. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take 2 more questions, and after that, yes, Kana. What is your question? Gunjan, give the mic to, yeah. This lady here, no, here. Yeah.
Till now, how many books have you illustrated?
Oh, this is my first one.
Whoa! Okay, here. Okay, one boy there and here. That's it. Yeah.
How did you learn paper kataka?
I learned paper cut a few years, like many years ago, like almost 7 years ago, when I was doing my master's program, and there was this one artist who was coming in to teach paper cut, and I thought, this sounds interesting.
Yes.
This sounds like something I can do for the next 6 months while I'm finishing my course, and then it'll be just one of those things that I do for fun on the side, which is like a nice sort of stress buster, which is why we do art, right? We make paintings to make ourselves feel good and relax a little bit. But at the end of the 6 months, I was like, I am obsessed with this. This is one of the most fun mediums I worked with, and it made me feel like I finally discovered something that feels like my own little style. So
Okay.
thank you for that question.
Yeah. All right. Yes. What is that question? Okay, after you. Yeah.
Why you like this title?
Oh, now that we have to ask the author, but since author Shobha is not here, I will tell you because 1,000th full moon is what Muttasi would be seeing, right? So that's why they called it instead of just calling a magical moon. Because you as a reader will also be intrigued. 1,000th full moon. Who? What is this? So it's obviously, that is why she called it 1,000th full moon. Yeah.
Who motivated you to do such illustration?
To do paper cut?
Gunjan.
I would say my
And last
teacher back when I was doing my master's. So she is an absolutely wonderful. Her name is Anne. She is a wonderful paper cut illustrator, and she kind of really pushed us to try making like giant pieces, like 8 feet tall pieces for exhibitions, and then making like such small pieces that they'll fit on your fingernails. And she really pushed us to try
How nice.
experimenting and exploring. Yeah.
All right. So now I have one last question from you. After that, Kirtana is going to be around here. So after you finish this session, all of you can. Is that a promise, Kirtana?
Yes. You can
Yeah,
come
you
to
can
any
go and
time.
ask her all these questions. Yes. Last question from you.
What
Yeah.
year they started making this book?
Oh, which year did you start making this? Okay.
Very good question. It was 2022. And we
And we
finished
are in 2024.
in
Yeah.
a while.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, she took 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, everybody, I'm sure, has a digital gadget. I have only limited paper and pencils. We will distribute here. Can you have the last slide, ma'am? Last slide. There are some questions here. I'm going to first explain what it is. Okay. Give me 2 minutes. They're just going to bring the questions here. Okay. We have to write a poem for your grandparent. Okay, so first you have the title of your poem is the name of your grandparent. It can be grandmother or grandfather. And then you say, I call her or him Amama, Muttasi, whatever it is. And the relationship this person has with you, meaning this person, she is my or he is my grandfather. Then you go to write things that they love, things they dislike, things they like to do, that is hobby, interest, or their jobs, how they inspire you. Maybe she inspires me to read more or to put column, or he inspires me to play tennis, anything. And then things they can be heard saying, or how they help you. They help me with my homework. I'm just giving you an example, but use your thoughts. And things that they do for you, and the ending messages, whether you love them or whatever. So you can take a shot, whoever has a digital, otherwise, for all these people, just give them one paper and pencil. If you can write just the answers, and if you are ready, maybe one or two will be called out to recite your poem. And the poem should have the title, the name of your grandparent, okay? And there are very cutie ones who can't write. Maybe the parents can help. Okay, look at the board and start writing. Okay, now your time starts now. Come on, start writing. You can write whatever you want, children. Come on, start writing. Now your time starts now. Sa sing the sunflowers, rearing out the red roses. Ga giggle the gulmohars, ma the marigolds. Pop pop the pretty poppies, dha dance the dahlias. Nee not the neem flowers. Sarigama padani sa. Yes, that's it. You've written. Sit down, sit down. Yeah, sit down. You don't know how to write, so is a parent here? Yeah? Okay. Your parent, your amma can help you. You don't know what to write. Where is your parent here? She is not there. No problem. You sit down. It's okay. Not everybody has to write. You want to draw something for your grandparent? Okay. Here. Take a paper from that Anna. And whoever's finished writing, come and share. We will make you recite that poem. You don't want to write? Okay, draw something for your grandparent. And then go and give it to them. Ammamma, Pati, Nani, Dadi. You don't want to write a poem? No problem. Write whatever you feel like. Yes, you can. You can. You have to write the name of your grandparent, what you call him or her, all this. Yes, you can write a poem. You can write a poem of your own for your grandparents. Yes, you can draw whatever you feel like. It comes straight from your heart. Okay, another 4-5 minutes left. Yes, Kanna. Things that can be heard saying, ayyo, something they must be saying, no, at home. Innappa or kya hua? Okay.
Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
it's not coming
Hello?
on the paper. Never mind. So has anyone finished? Has any one of the adults finished the poem? I call her Ma, my mother's mother. And she loves gardening. She dislikes wasting food. She takes care of babies. And how do they inspire you? They inspire me with food, teaching cooking, and they share stories, and she's my favorite. Big round of applause. This is, I think, Varalakshmi, my grandma. Navapranav. Super, thank you. Big round of applause. Yeah, I call her Mani. She's my nani. She tells me stories that take away my worries. She makes me yummy food, which lights up my mood. How beautiful is this? Who wrote this? Who wrote this? Who wrote this, Baba? You wrote it. What's your name? Ahana. Thank you, Ahana. That's a beautiful. Please give it to your nani. Yeah. I call her Nana. She's very kind. She likes She likes gardening. She likes to garden. I love you. Thank you. All right. And there is some drawings for grandma. So beautiful. Oh, lovely. Lovely. Okay, keep it. Okay, keep it with you. All right. Okay, this is the last one that I'm reading. Relationship with between me and my grandparents, Vetri Vale. Okay, 1 minute, Kana. Almelu Anand. Aya, grandparents. They like me, they dislike when I'm not reading, when I'm talking. And they help me in studies, they make me read well, and I love you. Thank you. Okay, now you'll all have to sit down, Kana. Okay, you take this. Yeah. So can you sit down? Can you? Yeah. You want to read it? Okay. Okay. The last one. Okay. Sit down, Kana. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. I'll come. I'll come. Sit down.
Yeah.
Sit down. Sit down. You take it. You take it. Okay. You take it. Okay. Now read it.
I call him Tata. He is my grandfather. He loves me and I love to bother. They don't like me not eating. They don't like me cheating. They like to tell stories about their histories. I want to be like Tata. He's my partner in crime. I'm sure he's going to love this rhyme.
Oh, so beautiful. Come on. Give a big round of applause for yourselves. And Kirtana and I are... Sit down, sit down. Can you all sit down? Can you all sit down? Yes. Can you sit down? Can you sit down? Can you sit down? Kirtana and I are very, very happy that this story resonated with you. Shobha Viswanath would have loved to be a part of this, but then she was unable to make it. She's not in town. So a big round of applause to Shobha Viswanath, the author of this beautiful book, 1,000 Full Moons. It's available there. And a big round of applause to the budding and talented illustrator, Kirtana Ramesh. And thank you, Neve Literature Festival, for having us again. And see you next time. Bye. Bye.